Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Guild Wars week 12, day 4. So today, of course, we got some weekly, aside from the weekly spoilers, we got the entire March calendar. So here it is. We'll of course be going over a bit tomorrow on the video as well. Let's see, what are the most noteworthy things here? A couple returning pets as far as past holiday things. Beyond that, what month would this be then? March. So it looks like we're getting a new one all the way at March or April 1st? Oh, that's the Valentine's. No, not Valentine's. I mean, that's the Easter pet, I think, for the year. Because Easter is falling around that time. It doesn't actually say because it's not marked for, you know, this month technically. But yeah, all the ones for this month are just repeat ones. Some of them from past holidays, but all the ones from this month are repeat holiday pets. We got Vault Weekend, pretty standard. Only thing really out of the ordinary is we're getting Legends Reborn for Penn's Veil. So Legends Reborn, that should be a bunch of different pets for a bunch of stuff there. There's a handful of them that could be okay if they end up getting applied, but otherwise are pretty average as far as what this could be put on. There's a few that they could choose that would be really strong though, like obviously if the Legend got it and stuff like that. It could be a nice boost to the Legend since he's really good for his traits because he's 50% to Wild Folk and Impervious, but his ability is pretty lackluster. So him gaining 5 to all stats could help that out a lot. It does mention that depending on where 9.1 releases, which kind of implies it's not this Tuesday. Are we not getting it this Tuesday? Are we not getting the Spire week? Are we not getting the Astral Spire update on Tuesday? Because this implies they don't know the date. This implies it's not March 3rd. So, I don't know, we'll find out if we get a patch on March 3rd. But this implies that it could be March 10th or March 17th. If they don't know that it could, you know, coincide with the other thing. Because the patch likely needs to be out before they can do the Legends Reborn event. Which means, of course, it could still be on the 3rd, but it could also mean it's on the 10th. Because it would have to be before the Penn's Veil event. But if they say that it may be moved, that means it could be even further than that. It could be the 17th, and this event gets pushed back by a week. So I'll have to wait and see. But it does imply that it's not necessarily March 3rd. It could be 10th, and if it's really delayed, it could be 17th. But yeah, beyond that, pretty standard event week. Obviously, we are getting our event month. Of course, we are getting a big Astral Spire update, so that's the big thing. This will have a lot to go over. Probably one of the biggest updates they've done since like 2019 from a balance perspective. So obviously that's pretty big, but not counting that patch, yeah, this is a pretty standard month, but the only real exception being a Legend Reborn for Penn's Veil likely in the middle of it, which won't really switch up much, but you know, a bunch of new pets to go and get. We're also getting this event next week, nothing really too noteworthy. You just explode your gem, does a bunch of scour damage boosted by Yellow Gem Destroyed. It doesn't say the ratio here, but I assume it's at a ratio that is completely irrelevant. There's already some things like this in the kingdom that they're okay within the context of the kingdom, but you know, if you're allowed to use anything, they're just way underwhelming. They give you that he's an ultra rare, non-epic. He's probably even weaker than the other ones that exist within the kingdom, so I can't really see that being useful. As far as faction, they are doing an expansion to the Warrens, where we're getting this guy. Explodes a gem, deals a bunch of damage to a random enemy, boosted by all Yellow Gem Destroyed, and inflicts a random status effects on them. So this is pretty similar to the random status effects that the whole place has, either positive or negative. It just has a little bit more of that going. This is a nice mix because it's mana accumulator into being able to do that, whereas everything else is all in pretty much on one, where they're all in damage or all in support. So this is like a nice mix of the two, having both mana accumulation and, you know, its effects and its abilities. Well, something over here, now available in chess. Miss Crinkle from the, Christmas event, as well as Queen Wilhelmia, will become available as drops in Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests, so if you still end up needing those, they are available. And now available in Vaults, as of tomorrow, is the Queen of Cups. So if you're still missing that for completion's sake, I think this was from the last World event. I mean, not World event, what would you call that? Campaign? I think this was the last paid troop like that from the campaign, so if you've been saving any of your Volkies, that will be available as of tomorrow. Not really too noteworthy to mention. I probably will forget to mention in the Monday video. And then Astral Spire is obviously the biggest thing happening next month. No official date, but it could literally be any Tuesday next month. Most likely one of the first threes. Either the first Tuesday, the second Tuesday, or the third Tuesday in March. Though based on the calendar, they do not know what day it is. But one of these 3 Tuesdays is pretty much guaranteed the patch. Obviously, they're trying for earlier in the month, but based on this, it could be as late as the 3rd Tuesday, which would also move back the Legends Reborn by 1 week if they were to do that. But that's pretty much everything for the month. And then we get Easter events starting on the 3rd, it looks like, based on where that calendar's peaking at right there. And yeah, and that would be everything then. So, in other news, we still got Blue Guild War. Need to go do Blue Guild War. What teams have we not used yet? I think like a Mirage Team Flower Dragon, or Mirage Team Pure Elemental Team. Like one of the only things we haven't run. Anyways, hello Cookie, hello Isabel, hello hello Jets, hello. Let's see. Jetto's all over the place lately. Hello Mulu, hello Cookie, hello Clip Bomb, hello Chad, hello Isabel, hello everyone else, hello hello everyone else, hello Mulu. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, game plan. Let's go to Guild War. Let's go finish out. We are currently on perfect score. Almost guarantee incapable of making Paragon. However, well, we'll see what happens. Let's see. Is it even possible? Let me go check. My guild's keep. It shouldn't be. There should be 2 people higher than this. Nope, it's not possible. Where's the other one? Nope, it's not possible. Where's the other one? Probably not possible. Yeah, I knew this would happen. There's so many 5-0s the entire week. I don't know, we'll see where we're score. I don't think we're scoring higher than whatever the highest one of this is. Like Jeff's or whatever it ends up being. Because we already knew this would be a 5-0 competition between who scored the highest. So I figured we'd just use a bunch of random teams and just have fun with it. Because it is such a tight competition this time for Paragon. It's because blue is such an easy category. Well, we'll do the same today. We'll just kind of mess around with teams. And we still haven't lost yet. We're still 5-0 the whole week. Just messing with a different team each time. And we shall do the same again. However, I actually forget what red layout is. I guess we'll go bottom. But I only know blue and green's layout for the most part. I don't normally see too many of the other colors. So interesting to see a red layout here. Not sure what they're planning with that. Because they had to deliberately do it. Sometimes when you see a lot of blues, it's because they got defaulted into it. And green because it's really strong. But to see something like red, they had to have actively chosen red. So, interesting. But yeah, we'll take bottom path here. I actually have no clue what's over there, but we'll find out in a moment. We were messing with a Pure Merlantis team last time, so we could use Leviathan at least once. Leviathan, of course, being the shiny that you get from this current PvP thing. It's a pretty bad troop, even with max shininess, it's a pretty bad troop, which is why I didn't bother going for it this time. But maybe next Guild War we'll go for it. We were mentioning earlier that hopefully it'll do like a harder restriction, like a Kingdom or something. Because so far, whenever they've done a restriction like that, they've actually made the Legendary better. But every single time it's been like a wider category like this, where it's blue. They keep making it, like, so bad. Alright, first things first, since this is the first battle, we will just go, obviously, just quick kill. I'm just gonna go, like, 3 Tuck Shakas into a flower, and we should be good. I don't even need to change the banner. That's good enough. You should hit. We'll find out in a second. It's good enough for the first fight. So let's just roll with this real quick, and then... oh, we didn't get full mana. No, that's not good. I needed full mana. I'll take it that way. Alright, now we should just auto-win. And that's match. Alright, next. What do we have going on here? So yeah, let's just go bottom. Either go all the way bottom or all the way top. We'll go all the way bottom. So, first things first. We're up against a Bog Strider team. Actually, I say that. What's our option for the other side? We're up against a Bog Strider team. Let's see. Ruby, some true damage, some more true damage. Ooh, doing a life gain. Ooh. Ooh, new strategy unlock. Sycorax Infinite Loop we haven't done yet. That's something we haven't tried. Do we have anything, boosted by life? I forget what you would have to type. There we go. Def, kind of. Vashtagan would be really funny. I forget, do you lose score in the current state of Guild War if you have a troop missing? I believe you do. But he replaces it with a Daemon, so he kind of doesn't. Yeah, I know, we gotta go try Peasant build. So hello, Rich Chicago. Welcome, welcome. All has been well. Been a while. I don't know, do we want to go down the Def route or what? They did improve Def to 2-1. I could have sworn it used to be 3-1, so he's not as bad to try to use. The problem is he's doing scatter damage. And even at 1-1, that wouldn't be that much. I don't know, I guess Vashagan has the same issue. He's doing it he's doing scatter damage boosted by life. Why can't anything have an actual good life boost ratio in the entire game? Like, the closest you get are the Taurus troops, but that's because they have, like, 3 different boost ratios. This one's actually kind of interesting for boss slaying, but you normally already have enough damage. I don't know, do we want to go all the way and do Vashtagan? The problem with Vashtagan is not extra turn. I wish something here had extra turn potential. I think we're just using Sycorax to survive, but not to use a life boost ratio. There are some in the game, but none of the, like, absurdly good ones are under blue. Which almost makes me want to try the Arc Druid method. And just go double Arc Druid into... because that's something we haven't tried yet. Arc Druid creates a bunch of Entangle Gems per turn. And we can end up utilizing that in order to get a bunch of mana. And we also have full Impervious on this team, so it's also a 4 times Impervious team. And I might even just not run Hero. Or if we want to be fancy with it. Is there an Immortal that's like yellow, blue, yellow, whatever? Literally just blue, yellow, Immortal. Just type in Immortal. Yes, we have a couple. And some true damage ones at that. I think we might just do this. Immortal Glacia is kind of interesting because we're immune to freeze on everything, including her, obviously. I might do this. She has 5 hits and an okay amount of true damage. Obviously, she won't have her double damage. She gets some freeze gems. The other one is what? Not much extra bonus, but it hits a little harder. Right? Well, you hit first slot a little bit harder. True damage to all enemies. So you can kind of one-shot and then whittle them down. I know, I kind of just want to go Glacia. Does he have a bunch of immune to freeze? Because this team is 4 times impervious. Or 3 times impervious with 1 invulnerable. The problem is she doesn't use green, though. But then again, we kind of want that to happen. Because you'd rather have Sacrorax and go into blue. Even though we're feeding mana with green, we kind of want to go into blue unless green is really populated. In which case we'll use the Arc Druids, but otherwise we use the Glacia. So yeah, we'll go with this. We'll see what happens. Want to run something a little bit different. If it loses, it loses. We're up against Elementalists. A lot of his team does not have immune, though. Having Curse on our team would be really great. I'd have to get rid of the double him, though, to be able to do that. There's nothing else on our team naturally does it. That or I'd have to put something in first slot that does it. I don't think there's any Immortal in this category, or even Immortal in general. Well, actually, we could do Ossifer. That's not true. We could do Ossifer. Because I kind of need Curse. And you know what? I think I do have to go Ossifer here. And then we're just not using yellow, and I just go negative yellow banner. I do think I have to go Ossifer. Because I need Curse, and I can't run Hero. Well, I could, but I don't want to run Hero that would want to stars. So yeah, unfortunately, we can't go like Glacier or something. But we will go this and go like a +2 blue, +1 green. Or actually, in this case, +2 green, +1 blue. Does that banner not exist? It does not. I guess green-brown then? +2 green's the most important thing. And obviously minus yellow because we're not using it. So yeah, we'll go +2 green then. Because I don't think we can go +2 on any other color. Unfortunately, due to our selection that we have here. Alright, and I think that's everything. And then we just go Sacrorax into green and just go crazy with that. And just have Ossifer for his curse and everything. And to tank when invulnerable. And if he wants to cast, he can cast. And if he doesn't cast a single time, we'd still win. We should be fine. So this is a Arc Druid Blood team. You sometimes run this for Guild War Defense, oddly enough, because it's both Elemental and Mystic, so there's some categories you can run it for. But, yeah, it creates 2 Entangle Gems every single turn. It does stack, so you create 4. He has Impervious, so he can't be hit by his own Entangle. This whole team, oddly enough, has Impervious. Though you would never want to give the AI Sacrorax because they would not use it correctly. And we're going to use Curse Stun off of this so that we can apply all of the Entangle and Disease that this other guy has, as well as just be able to scald them all down, since we'll stun away any traits that mitigate that. And we don't need to worry about his on-skull effect or his Lifesteal, because Lifesteal we have Sacrorax for HP, and for things like Entangle we have, you know, Invulnerable, or if he somehow gets through that, Impervious on literally everything. So we should be good to go. Yeah, let's go do it then. It's also almost a pure blue team, depending on what Immortal you run in first slot. Though we ran Ossifer instead. Yeah, O'Shea's Tome's really good. We did want O'Shea's Tome so far this week. I almost forgot about it, and then I was looking for a weapon that wasn't Rope Dart. It's like, oh yeah, we have O'Shea's Tome. Alright, let me do this into green and hope it doesn't miss. You got this. Yeah, you got this. Keep doing that. Especially with that 1 extra gem spawn you're going to be getting when Astral Spires come out. Except it doesn't work in Guild War. We're going to try it again. Come on, you got this. Don't miss. Yeah, keep doing that. Alright, do it again. You got this. Yeah, do it again. You got this. Yeah, Infinite Loop Sacrorax, you got this. Oh wait, we already got over mana. I didn't even need that one. Well, I guess we got extra HP. And we got some skull damage. So we'll do that. Boom, 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 boom. And now we only have 2 enemies left, so we'll go true damage them. So we'll go boom, boom, and then boom, boom, and then we win. Unless we want to go more Infinite Loop. But I'll just go for these so they can do something. Let's go to boom, boom, into the boom, boom, and then he's dead. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's that. That's about what I thought it would do. And it's 4 times immune as well, which is fun. Not normally a team you could really build, like a natural immunity. Like 3 Imperviouses into a invulnerable. Very solid. Anyways, what are we doing? We're up against 2... Okay, so this is a Centaur restriction. What's this guy do again? He's relatively new. Deal a bunch of damage to the two strongest enemies, boosted by all enemy magic, then inflict 4 stacks of bleed. Yeah, that. Deal a bunch of damage for per extra turn. Impervious. Impervious is the most noteworthy thing there. 50% mana start to all centaurs, which includes most of his team. Actually, no, that's Rashka combination. That's weird. What's he using this for? The wild card and a little poke? You don't have wild card boost ratio, though. And then he has resummon. This is a really weird team. Okay, so we can have a little bit of... Oh, no, we have a little bit of wiggle room here to kind of run whatever. You know what time it is, then. It's peasant time. Alright, let's build the non-troll, actually use peasant properly team. Let's see. That means I need gem spawn. What do we want to do that isn't Sycorax for gem spamming? Or do we just go Sycorax again? I don't know, what's under blue that creates a lot of gems that can loop like Sycorax but isn't Sycorax? That can loop both into itself and to other things. Oh, we could do Wish Gem too. Wait. We could use the Wish Gem route. He can pop Wish Gems. Ooh, wait. I might not need gem spamming. We might just go the Peasant Fairy Fire route. And just so we don't use Wand of Stars, we'll use Peasant instead because Peasant's way stronger. But because of that, do I need counter to anything? I don't really need Bless. I don't really need Curse. Yeah, we can get away with no Wand of Stars. So what are we still missing? Give me the best brown blue we have. What's a good brown blue that goes with Peasant? Ideally something that can affect the board in some way and or explode the Wish Gem in case Peasant somehow doesn't have mana. Though he only costs 3, but you never know. Just in case Peasant somehow have 0 mana. I'm already using Immortal, so I can't use anything there. I'm trying to think what else, like, Peasant synergy here. Maelstrom Dagannoth technically does, but that's way overkill. We could, though. Have we even ran Maelstrom Dagannoth yet? It's one of those few I feel like I've been trying to avoid using just because it's so strong. But it does have really good Peasant synergy. But in all fairness, he has good everything synergy. I'm running out of options. I don't want to go this low of a rarity. I'm looking for damage. I'm not looking for mana accumulation. Or am I looking for mana accumulation? Well, I'm mostly looking for something that can kind of clear the board, I guess. Like anything that can full clear the board that isn't like Flower Dragon. Or an Immortal, because we're using an Immortal already. Could use the Evil Blue Dragon for freeze in case things go south. We haven't used any of like the off-color ones that we're allowed to use. And this is one of them. Because he has 4 times Curse Freeze. And having Curse would allow us to Fairy Fire everything if we weren't already able to. Yeah, we'll go down that route. Why not? Alright, we're going Peasant as our main mana accumulator. Technically, it's Wish Gem, but we're going Peasant as our main mana accumulator. We got this. Unfortunately, I don't have an extra link for him. Oh no, he only uses 3 mana. We don't need a link for him. Ooh. Okay, I could just go green whatever then. I don't know, I kind of still want to go blue for him, though, because we're going to be taking blues occasionally. Let me go, like, blue-green minus brown, because we don't really need brown as much in this situation. What's the minus brown route? Give me, like, blue... Yeah, give me blue-green minus brown. Perfect. Is there anything else we need to change? I think we're good. Alright, Peasant build, go. Peasant's ability actually is really good. He's unique in what his ability does. If they made a mythic version of this, it would actually be insane, or even just a legend version of it. But he gets a very unique amount of board control for a very, very low amount of mana cost. There's not a single other troop that could do a 3 destroy, and there's a lot of weird things you could do with it, depending on what your board state is. So we're going to try to do some of it. And worst comes to worst, you can use it to pop a Wish Gem, so we could use it for that for only 3 mana. But yeah, let's go give it a shot, see what happens. Alright, come on, give us some good Peasant alignment. No good Peasant play, but a really good Blue Dragon Gem into Wish Gem play. So this wasn't the Peasant's doing, but this guy just did insane value. Normally this does very, very little, but he created a Blue Dragon Gem above a Wish Gem that, of course, our Trog Goblin made. So I could just do that. And now we have full mana on our whole team. Alright, let's go use some stuff, and then we can hopefully get some good Peasant alignment. Let's see, first things first, I'm going to go cast this so we can get some damage down, move that. Okay, do we have any Peasant play here? No, because just taking these would do what we need it to do on its own. So I'll take that just to get our mana back and then wait for his turn. We'll get all of our mana back. Come on. Oh, we do have a Peasant play. The Peasant play is in play, though I already have a good option, so I kind of don't need it. I might not need that. We'll move that over. Also, the amount of value we've gotten from this final trait might be the most we ever got. We used it not just once, but twice to pop a this gem. Maybe even a third at this rate over there. Okay, we could gamble a peasant play over here. But not sure if we're actually going to be able to get it. We'll go for the wish gem for now. See if we can get our extra turn there. Did not get it. Alright, good, good, good. We finally got one. We got one. We got one. We got one. So we can do a mega peasant over here. We could do a 2 destroy right here. This will give us red and an extra turn green. So we put the peasant there. Boom, boom, boom. We get a ton of mana. Auto guaranteed extra turn. Get all the mana from that. And then we'll just go for this and pretty much just win then. And if we still need a little bit of mana, we just touch something and win. So we go for this. Get the disable on them. Get the curse and everything else. I'm going to need a little bit more mana. And then we just win off of that. Oh, he's going to summon here, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to have to kill that summon. I was hoping we'd get up before he did that. Okay, peasant gets one more play. Come on, we need to get back to full mana peasant. We didn't get to use peasant that much this battle, unfortunately. We got one good play out of him, though. But honestly, this thing's final trait has done more value than I've ever seen, or ever thought it would do. I would like a little bit of mana, please. We're losing so many points right now. Come on, can we get one more good peasant in, even though we already won the battle? Come on, there has to be something here. Obviously, you could pop a wish gem with it, but we don't need it here. Come on, is there no place we could use a peasant? I could try to gamble or red off a sky. If we were truly desperate and about to lose, we could try a 3 destroy here. We have red storm, so it's very likely we'd get a red over there for extra turn. But beyond that, there's no guarantee value here. Anyways, we already won, so let's kill it. But yeah, peasant didn't get to do too much. He got one good play. But honestly, final trait of this dragon did more value than I ever thought. He popped a wish gem twice. If we didn't have him proc this, we would not have gotten either of those 2 wish gems when we needed it. So, of course, we could have still peasanted it, but, you know, we ended up being able to get it for extra value. So, yeah, kind of interesting. Didn't really think of the synergy of, like, Dragon Explode into the wish gem of this, but it actually worked out perfectly for this battle. And then Peasant just offset as we needed, and obviously misfed it for Fairy Fire. Yeah, it worked. It did what it needed to do. Anyways, we're up against the standard Takshaka team. That's kind of scary. Alright, what are we doing for our second to last build? What have we not done yet? We haven't built a 4x Elemental team at a Mirage Queen, I don't think. So let's build Pure Elemental. The only problem with Pure Elemental teams is I do think I have to use Flower Dragon, but I think it's fair because we're up against triple Takshaka Essence of Evil, so we kind of need something over the top. But let me double check what our Elemental options are here. Elemental, Show All. Alright, we do a Flower Dragon. We'll put it in for now, we'll see what it comes out to. We have Arc Druid again, oddly enough, for mana accumulation if we wanted to go down that route and we don't want to run Hero. But of course, running Wanda Star's Elementalist is very strong in this setup. Oh yeah, I'm not doing base rarity. Base rarity. What do we have? Obviously, we got Flower. A couple other knick-knack stuff if we want like extra turns. We have Sacrax again if we kind of want to go down that route. Truffle, we've already kind of done a Truffle team. I don't know, what else is like a really like good Elemental synergy troop? Because all of those are good, but they're not necessarily like Elemental specific. I don't know, I feel like Sacrax gets used for it sometimes. We just ran a Sacrax team already though. It wouldn't hurt to run Sacrax again though. We could just run Arc Druid, I guess. Problem is Arc Druid doesn't have good synergy with Flower Dragon. If you're putting on a defend team for Guild War, it's fine, but in this situation, I don't know, we're just not getting that much out of it. Go down like a Mistralis route and use the enchant to offset. The problem is her random damage is a little bit bugged, like all splash damage right now. Oshea, Oshea is very, very overkill for mana, but we could do it. I was considering Wand because I'm going to need it against Essence. Because honestly, this might be like a... this set might have to be a Beatrix angle. Because we're definitely running Elementalist, of course. The whole reason why you would even run Mirage Queen is so you can run Elementalist. So we're going to have to run Elementalist. I'm just trying to see if I can replace Flower Dragon is the main thing I'm trying to see right now. What am I doing? I am doing Wand of Stars because I need it for Essence of Evil. I'm also probably going to need one Beatrix just to play it safe. Where's Beatrix? How do you spell Beatrix? There we go. Alright, do we have to run Flower Dragon? What is our, like, next best Elemental? Troop type, Elemental... Oh, that's why she didn't come up earlier. It was under Elemental category. Oh, yeah, she's not an Elemental. I still kind of need it, though, honestly. I forgot. Queen... I always keep thinking she is. Truffle is. She isn't. Oh, maybe I do have to go Truffle. Oh no, I'm just so concerned Essence of Evil is going to go crazy on us. I might just have to go Truffle because it actually is elemental. And then maybe we go Sacrox and use Truffle as our only damage. That would be so risky. I gotta replace her with a different damage source if we can replace Flower Dragon with something. What do you do? Insta-kill, too inconsistent. Mistralis, your ability's currently a little bugged until they fix it in an update. You don't do enough damage. Sugaroff is interesting, honestly. You know what? We're gonna do it. I'm trying not to run Flower Dragon, and we can still can lose twice, so we can run anything here. We can run 4 Peasants. No, we're not gonna do that, though. We need something for damage. Alright, we're gonna try it this way. We're gonna a really weird team. I do need to change banner, though. +2 blue-brown would be ideal. Green-brown could also be good, actually. Do we have a green-brown? +2 green, +1 brown, -1 yellow. Does that exist? Exactly so. Perfect. All right, let's go with that. So this is a 4x elemental team with double silence, with some explode, truffle, infinite loop if we need it, and Mirage Queen because obviously it's a pure elemental team. And obviously Elementalist because it's a pure elemental team. I do have to use Wand of Stars though because we have Essence of Evil in play. All right, let's go try this. This will also apply all the stun we need. Double silence will hit his first 2. If I can silence his Elementalist, we auto win. So if we can get some skulls in there, that'd be nice. I might even cast Mirage Queen to get skulls, honestly. As it does convert all greens into Doom Skulls and has 4x Curse if we didn't already get it off a wand. So yeah, this is going to be the game plan. No Mythics, oddly enough. No Mythics, no Immortal. Haunted Doll with 40% dodge? If it's relevant on the final battle, we could. We've done it some in the past. We just never really been up against the Skull Spam team. So I haven't really needed to bring it out. Because the teams we keep creating, obviously we still need to try to counter out whatever we're up against, even though we're kind of just putting some stuff together. And we haven't really been up against many Skull Spam teams, so I haven't really had the opportunity to do Haunted Doll. Because the main time you'd bring her out is against a heavy Skull Spam team that ideally does not have stun. And we haven't even been up against a normal Skull Spam team, let alone one that also doesn't have stun. Alright, his main weapon is starting to get a little scary. Because I don't really have a way of dealing with it yet. I think our best bet is to double Truffle here since I don't have extra turn. The other best bet is we just go for Mirage Queen here, deny every green we have, and use this to get rid of his barrier, but also to be able to silence. I'm going to go for it. A little bit of a weirder play. But we'll do that. This allows us to silence Hero, which even though Elementalist has a lot of immunes, it does not have immune to silence. So we can use our double silence here to get it silenced, so we basically win the battle. And then after that's been silenced, we just go Truffle until we win. And that should be a match, as long as Truffle doesn't miss. The only problem is we did just deny every green on the board. So he's not going to be able to get that much mana accumulation, but hopefully Wand of Stars will be able to offset him. And then we just go for our double silence, and we pretty much win. We'll take our red extra turn, get that to full mana, keep doing Truffle until it fails us. And if not mistaken, this is the first and last enemy, so when there's only one left, it should double poke. Never mind, it doesn't. It only hits once. But there we go. Should have Truffled first then. Wasn't sure if it double poked or not, but there we go. Alright, final battle, what do we have? And that was no Mythic either. Alright, we got Triple Tuck Shock on Rope Dart. Oh, gosh. Well, I think I have to use Ossifer, just so we have stun. Also to kill out Rope Dart immediately. And then we'll just build the rest from there. Alright, what do we want to run here? Ossifer to deal with Rope Dart, plus to have stun against the thing. What have we not ran for Blue Guild War that we want to run? Miss Crinkle team? What does Crinkle ability do again? Isn't that the Wish Gem thing? Oh no, the other one. This was from the holiday event. She'll be in drop table as of tomorrow. Deal a bunch of damage to the first 2 enemies and convert all gems. Oh yeah, this is like a double different Doomskull converter. Interesting. The only problem with that is she has full mana conflict with Ossifer. The other problem is they do have 30% score reduction, but we should be able to get enough stuns that it doesn't matter. I don't know, we could build a Skull team out of her. I'm just not liking the full mana block is the problem here. Because Ossifer getting mana is a bit more important than her. We also don't have any Dwarf synergy. Like, unless you're building a 4x Druk Zoom team, she's kind of hard to put into a team. Also because she really wants to be used with other dwarves. And generally speaking, you're not really running other dwarves. Though that one doll we could probably run, since we're going a little bit skull heavier. Especially since probably our whole team will have immune to terror, other than her. But it doesn't matter because she's in first slot, so it doesn't really matter if she gets terrored for the most part. Because then our Ossifer would just be first slot then. My only concern with that is he does have Rope Dart, and she's not immune to Entangle. But we can use her as a mini mana accumulator. We are going to need at least one real mana accumulator though. So I'm probably going to need a boom pile here just for some board control. And then from there, I just need something to cover the rest of the color probably. Let's see what we have for the rest if we were to go one troop. Not counting Flower Dragon or something. Iron Gut's a bit overkill, plus we don't have anti-entangle on him. What does this guy do again? Doesn't he have auto extra turn? I feel like I underutilize this guy, but he does have an interesting ability. He converts all gems of chosen color to good gargoyle gems, and then deals a bunch of damage to all enemies of that mana color. But the most notable thing is he gains auto extra turn. Problem is he doesn't have immune to entangle. I'm trying to put some things here that have it, as I only put one thing on the team that has it. Oh no, we could just rush down Rope Dart and probably be fine. Silent Sentinel. Silent Sentinel could be interesting to get rid of Rope Dart. Yeah, we could do that. We're going to be missing brown, I believe, if we do that, though. We could even do Silent One. Wait. Even though we have the Silence Dragon now, we do have Silent One as well. That is tempting. He even has Water Link for extra blue mana. You know how long it's been since I've ran Silent One? He also silences himself after he does his ability, which is actually good because then he's not blocking my blue mana. That's so tempting. Yeah, let's roll with this. This is a really weird team. This is a very weird team, but it puts some stuff we haven't used yet. These two we have, but we haven't ran Silent One, and we haven't ran Haunted Doll yet. So we'll give it a shot, see what happens. Haunted Doll might be able to pick up a kill. Honestly, I almost want to run last slot Ossifer just so we don't get terrored ourselves. Or if we do, it'll take longer for it to die. So we're trying to run a last slot Ossifer here. And then our banner is like +2 blue-green or +2 green-blue, one or the other. Probably +2 green-blue, honestly. And perfect, and we can minus brown that we don't even use. Alright, this is the team. Silent One, Haunted Doll, Zarg's Boom Pile, and Ossifer. Let's see how this goes. We should be fine. As long as we can get Ossifer off the ground. A little bit weird using Boom Pile in front of it, but we can use it for board control and to get silent pokes. As he does have silence on Skull as well as on ability. And we can get Rope Dart silence pretty early. And as we mentioned earlier, while Elementals does have a lot of immunities, as well as a lot of these tank hero classes, they do very specifically lack an immune to silence. So let's go give it a shot and see what happens. Yeah, this has been a really fun Guild War. Honestly, we need to start doing this more often for Guild Wars that are like this free. Any Guild War that's this easy, we need to do this again sometime. He's getting scary close to full mana. How do we go about this? I think he gets full mana next time. I can't take that. I kind of want to take a blue and risk it all, but he gets a 5x green, but he doesn't actually use green, so do we care if he gets green and brown and everything? I think I'm going to risk it. He's going to get a 5x green and a 5x brown, but we're just going to silence him and then going to go crazy from there. So he'll take that. He'll do a couple other things. But now we have the 4x silence! Let's see, and then we kind of just go from there. Mana accumulation is going a bit slower than I would have hoped for us, but at least right now he can't do anything in that regard. Let's see. What do we need here? I need green so badly. Red's okay. Purple would be great too, but green is by far the most useful thing we could grab. And we don't use yellow anymore for now since Silent One just got silenced off itself. Unless we can get it cleansed. I should have ran some Orpheus medals. I forgot that's a strategy you could do now with Silent One. Those didn't exist even close back to when he was a thing. But of course is a thing these days. Alright, so we'll do this, get all of our mana accumulation. Unfortunately, no extra turn or anything since we're frozen on the other thing. Got a cleanse right over there, though, so that's good. Oh yeah, we didn't carry any resummon, did we? But at least now we have the doll as our front slot. And as you can see, he's still silenced. No terror kills yet, though. And then we can almost get to the point where we can start doing some Ossifers. Is there any way I could just go for his mana? I just want to go for him directly. I would just go for a Mass Explode and see where we can end up getting from there. I'm just going to take some blue directly for him. Could be a bit of a slower battle, but he can't do anything much at the moment other than Skull Pokes. We have 45% dodge right now on that. Gotta be really careful not to give him too many extra turns, though, because he's gaining a lot of value from it. Oh yeah, I forgot you're frozen. Also, that silence is lasting forever. We are getting such absurdly good silent value here. I'm actually very surprised by how long you stay in silence. And he's stunned right now, so we can actually just go for the skull poke to kill his first slot. So that's one down. He is still silenced through all of this, which is really crazy that that's still going. I think we go for the purple explode. Actually, we'll go for the skull. We'll keep whittling them down. It's going to be a very slow battle, but we will win. We will win by the end of it. Alright. Oh, what do we need here? I need Ossifer to get full mana already. So let me take that. Ossifer, go do Ossifer things. There we go. Ossifer thing, go. Alright, and now we can go get some skulls off a Cascade. We'll do it right over there to get the skull for free. A little bit of poison. Go get all of our explodes from that. And then we just kind of wipe it out with whatever. And I believe this does count as whatever. We could do this into there, which gives us double skull. And then he dies. It took it a little bit to get there, but it got there. But that 4-time silence did value, though, I do have to say. Even though we did end up losing the silent one by the end, he stayed 4-time silence like the entire battle. So he couldn't use Talk Shaka or Rope Dart at all. He casted 0 Rope Darts, and I think he only got 1 Talk Shaka, I think, or something, somewhere around there. A little bit of a lower score, but yeah, obviously that was a little rough for the final battle. But yeah, it did it. It did what it needed to do. But yeah, that was basically us trying to not use the meta for every battle, but still use a strong blue team for every battle. And for all 16 of the real battles, we used a different team. And used pretty much every viable blue troop. There were still a couple strategies, obviously, we didn't utilize, but they just didn't really come up as much. Like, a lot of, like, the skull counter teams and stuff we weren't able to do as much, just because we were up against, like, almost no skull spam teams. But yeah, it's Blue Guild War. And by the end of it all, let's see what our score was. Obviously, we got perfect score. Oh yeah, let's go get the shiny. So if we go over to Guild Wars, obviously I didn't buy the thing because the troop is so bad this time. However, since we got a perfect score, or won at least 18 of them, we do get Shiny Leviathan, which unfortunately is useless, but we can see what it looks like if nothing else. We used them for the final battle yesterday, for the 5th battle. But this is what he looks like all shiny now. And of course he gets 1 lower mana cost. Still as dead content as ever though. Even fully max shinied, he is pretty useless, even in a 4x Merlantis team, which is what we ran it for earlier. But yeah, it's a shiny for the Guild War. And let's go see what final score was. We definitely did not get Paragon, but we did get perfect 5-0, which was kind of expected to happen. Blue is a very, 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 very easy category. Roster, let me see here. How do we do? How do we do? We got 5-5-3-7. Yep, we already lost this there. Not even checking the rest of them. But yeah, we definitely lost. But we had fun. But yeah, this is the issue of why I didn't really want to go for it this week. Because there was going to be almost like the whole guild finishing with this pure 5-0, 5-0, 5-0. It really just came down to how well your points scored. And since we were just messing with random stuff, I figured why not. Since it was very unlikely we'd score the absolute highest even if we tried to. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go clear out everything else. Let's go clear out all this. Let's go clear out any other dailies we got to go finish out. Let me go replace this with double Pharaoh, since I just need that yesterday for the one thing. And let's go finish out all the weeklies. Under Spire, I think we have a few battles we need to go clear out. Pretty sure the guild event is already finished, so I don't need to put any battles there. Obviously, PvP, we need to go clean up whatever's still left on there, go from there. You want to see this team in PvP? Which one is this? Let me go check it real quick. What team is this? Copy, copy, copy. Paste, paste, paste. What is this? Ossifer Desert Ox. Create a mix of Cursed Gems and Doom Skulls. Gain an extra turn. Interesting. I forgot this thing had auto extra turn. So this applies 4 times Curse and gives you some skull value automatically. And the other one is basically Gorgoltha. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, this is basically Gorgoltha, but it creates some extra brown gems to explode. So this is like modern Gorgoltha, but it comes with Brown Storm and a slightly lower reduction, but a 1 lower mana cost and more brown whenever you explode. Ossifer's Edge I've used very rarely, but it does have good synergy with Ossifer. It converts all skulls to Uber Doom Skulls and then gain a bunch of attack. And if Ossifer's on your team, you gain auto extra turn. So basically everything on this team has auto extra turn except for Ossifer, which obviously is going to get extra turn from doing Doom Skulls. And then your first slot, which is basically just a different version of Gorgoltha, but with Brown Storm and with more brown mana accumulation. Interesting. This is actually how a lot of old teams used to be built, by the way. Gorgoltha, which basically what this is. Some kind of hero weapon that isn't useless, which this one, of course, is pretty good in this situation. But you know what I mean. Like, back then, what was considered not useless. Like, War and Peace would have been, like, a weapon you would use here, which obviously back in the day, was good, but in modern days, very useless weapon, which is why I say it like that. Followed by a damage source, in this case, Ossifer, and then, like, one other offset stuff that likely does mana accumulation. Normally, this was an Empower troop, but interesting to see it as a extra turn troop. But yeah, a team like structure like this used to be really meta back in the day. I've never specifically ran it with you know, like Ossifer and everything. It's definitely interesting. We gotta try it in middle PvP later. Because I gotta go do middle anyways for the daily. We gotta go do 5 battles there. So one of our 5 battles, I guess we'll mess with the team real quick. But yeah, it seems like the Astral Spire update might not be coming this Tuesday. I really thought it would be, but the wording on the March calendar implies maybe not. I don't know, find out when we get there. Hey, we did all that, we did all that. So that's done, that's done. Nothing we need to do there. Journey should be done, thank you, Guild. Though we did do like the 5th contribution, so... Or technically 4th. But good job, Guild. What else do we need? Soulforge. Oh yeah, did we ever check the Soulforge this weekend? I forget if we did. No. I guess Obsidius is okay if you need it. Obviously we don't need it. Piscia, we're using that for Guild War. That guy that creates a bunch of those lightning gems kind of fun. You sometimes use them for tours, but 2 or 3 of them. I already have my 3, so I don't need more though. Yeah, nothing too crazy in Soulforge. And weapons are just the same, obviously, until tomorrow. Alright, so, what was I doing? We go clear our dungeon. It is Diamond Day. Let's see if we get anything good here. Grab our diamonds, grab our Dragonite. Top 3. Boo, immediate curse. Boo, and the bleed trap. Though the bleed trap doesn't really do that much. Alright, let's go clear through these real quick. And then, I think the only thing left is PvP and Underspire then. Oh yeah, we do have to use the 1 hour booster though. I should probably go get that rolling. I forgot, we need to go for another hour tonight. And we can start rolling that right now so we can start running it through some of the dailies. Because, yeah, we need to go run that. Oh, I gotta retreat here. Oh no! Alright, let me go through these battles first, and then we'll go activate the 1 hour booster. Because I almost forgot about that. We haven't used the PvP thingy yet today. Or this week. We don't have to use it optimally, but, you know, I do want to get some value from it. So for the next hour, we gotta go use that booster once we go clear through these, dungeon battles. Did we hit, like, the 20% weaker stat or something? Why do I feel like we're hitting so much weaker? Oh, we just want to know if a skull reflect is funny. That one team is just a little bit stronger, I guess. Since it's the 6-colored one. Because I'm pretty sure we didn't hit a weakness trap. Jitter says the update is getting sent this coming week. So March 10th is most likely. Yeah, that makes sense. Because based on the calendar, they have to do it before the 17th. Because that week, they would need the update to already be in place. So yeah, it seems like March 10th is the most likely date. Because if it was March 3rd, they would say it's March 3rd. And the thing that's happening the following week after that has to have the update. So the second Tuesday is the latest it could be. Otherwise, they would have to push the other thing back. Are you surprised with all the recent Hag Troop additions? Not too much. Hag is technically a weird category in this game. Similar to how Gnome is. Or not Gnome, but a Gnoll. Gnolls, Hags, Spiders, and a few other ones are... not sure what you would use for the proper term, but they're basically a non-typing typing. There's a couple non-typing typings in the game that exist. For one, there is Spider. Summon a Spider... so there's some that summon a Spider troop. No, this one isn't it. What's the one that summons Spider specifically? But there's some troop that summons specifically a Spider type troop, which is a big category. There's one that summons Hags. I forget which one it is of all these mess, but one of these summons a random Hag. Yeah, summon a random Hag. So there's a couple invisible categories in the game that aren't real categories, but technically are. Like this one creates summons a random hag, so it's technically a subcategory. I wish cards were marked with what their subcategory is, because there's some troops with 3 typing. So this is Fey, Mystic, and Hag, and there's some other ones that are like Wild Folk, whatever they are, plus Null, but as well as Spider. There's some that are like whatever that category would end up being. But you know, there's a couple categories in the game where there's like an extra subcategory that ends up getting affected. And Hag is one of them, so they kind of, I guess, feel the need to add some Hag troops occasionally to add more to it. But Hag, Null, and Spider, I think, are the main 3. I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head, but those are like the most notable 3 in the game that are like a subcategory, where they're not marked anywhere on the card, but are technically part of a subcategory of troops that are affected by at least some ability or some trait. Alright, what are we doing here? We are doing, we finished out that, we finished out Dungeon, we're about to finish out Underspire. Let's go to PvP. Alright, anything we need to do here? So we gotta just do the middle battles and go deplete all these. So let's go deplete all these, get our magic, get our other stuff. Get all these down. Boss is actually marked on the card, though. Like, boss is technically a category, but it's an official category. It's not like one of those extra subcategories. Because boss is actually marked on a troop. Whereas things like Hag, Spider, Null, stuff like that are not marked on a troop. Like, any troop that's in those categories I'm referring to, you can't actually look at the troop and know that they're part of that category. Because nowhere's on the card does it say that they are. But for boss troops, it actually does tell you it's a boss troop. Oh yeah, the cocoon is the one that does the random spider, thank you. Yeah, I forgot what troop it was. There's also a troop that summons a random Null. And a few other weird categories like that. Obviously the random Hag summon. Where it's not a troop typing, but it's like a subcategory of troop. Almost like a third typing that's not visible. It's hello Bill Warhammer, hello Sushi Ninja. Hello everyone, welcome, welcome. Hello Speed Factor. What about Skull Team with Ossifer? Oh yeah, we ran a couple Skull Teams with Ossifer. Technically our last one was kind of like that too. But no, we ran Ossifer Skull Spam Team like 3 or 4 times, I think, during Guild War this time. A lot of times I was using him more so for Curse Stun, but yeah, we ran an Ossifer team I think like 4 times during this Guild War, including the final battle. They weren't always pure Skull Spam teams, but you know, some of them were. Yeah, there's also random Kobold. Which is basically all the other troops that are from that kingdom. From that faction. Alright, we did that, we did that. I need to go get my magic now, so let me go grab that from center. Right over here. And then we'll go try that one team that was mentioned earlier and just try that in center and then just go back to normal Flower Dragon build. I should have copy paste for this Flower Dragon build under blue, I'm pretty sure. I'll go double check before I go and overwrite it though. Just so we can copy paste it back real quick. If I can get mana, gosh. Where's all my mana at? How are you still not at full mana? There we go. That was so unlucky. It feels like our final Guild War battle today. It just refused to get full mana. Like, even Peasant did better for full mana. But hey, we did get to run the Peasant once. We only got one good move from him, unfortunately. I was actually really surprised how much we got from the blue dragon gem value that battle, though. I knew the synergy could have happened, but I was surprised that it happened twice. Because I was pretty sure it wouldn't even happen once, but we actually got it twice for the blue dragon gem and the wish gem combo. Technically even third, I didn't really need it the third time as we already had the win condition. But I'm still hoping they eventually make a legend or mythic peasant. The ability itself is good. The biggest issue with peasant is he has no follow-up. But the actual unique ability that he has is actually pretty strong. It's just the troop has no good traits and no good follow-up at all. Is the only thing really holding it back. Wait, there's a troop that summons a random book? Wait, which one is that? I don't remember that one. Alright, let me double check that I have this team on blue. I should. Yeah, I do. Okay. Let's go try the one that we have on copy paste then. So this is like an old Gorgotha meta team, but used with everything that isn't old stuff. It's basically like modern Gorgotha team. What did this change my elementals to? Is there anything I forget whenever I go and copy a thing? Because I always like to have it specific to some stuff. Submerge would be nice. I don't think I need it here though. Extra magic, insulate is fine. Freeze is good. Yeah, I think we're good to go. This one you sometimes set 2 depending on your team, but it should be fine. Alright, should be good to go. I just didn't want to submerge for this. I don't think we're going to need it. We have so much damage, I'd rather just have the extra tank ability. Alright, let's go run this. But yeah, I haven't run Ossifer's Edge too often. We have messed around with it a little bit with Ossifer. I mean, a big gimmick, of course, is that it gets extra turn when used together. Ideally, right now, we want to go find a brown or a purple so we can get full mana. We'll just ignore the skull and try to get our mana. We'll cast Gorgotha, a.k.a. Scizernberg Bog. It gets create a bunch of extra brown, so we will always get some amount of extra brown mana. And then you just do normal Ossifer things while spamming this guy to give you alignment. So this guy will give you alignment, though he did not give me alignment on anything other than brown, which is kind of not ideal. Then we make them into Uber Doom Skulls. Unfortunately, we do have to do brown here, but that'll pretty much just full board clear, and then you repeat the cycle again. We'll do this for free value, get all that. Keep getting mana. Whenever we need the mana, we keep casting him. And then we just get everything rolling again. We'll do that one more time, and then we should be able to get the whole loop one more time. I'll create this, hopefully get the last brown we need. I did not get the last brown we need. But we can Ossifer here to get the last brown we need. Then we can get the last brown, do that, make them all into Ubers. And keep rinsing and repeating until they're dead. Do this is for a little bit of value. Go explode the whole board for what should pretty much kill it. And it's dead. Yeah, it's a cool little team. A lot of interesting skull synergy. But it's basically modern Gorgotha team. It just replaces everything that Gorgotha team would have been with a modern option. Instead of Gorgotha, you run this guy. Instead of one of the old weapons, you run Ossifer's Edge. Instead of an old damage source, you run Ossifer or Mortal Ossifer as your damage. Instead of Empower, you run this extra turn, mixed troop in order to go and offset it. It's not bad. It's a fun little team. I don't think we'd realistically use it for too much, though, but it's a fun little PvP team to mess around with, if nothing else. It's a really fun gimmick of just creating like 1 billion skulls onto the board that all get powered up. But it will be a little bit too slow compared to Flower Dragon, as is pretty much like 98% of teams in the whole game. Which is kind of unfortunate. It's why I figured we'd mess with fun teams for this Blue Guild War, because it's not often we get to do that and still be somewhat efficient. It's because Flower Dragon tends to like eclipse everything in power a lot of times. Or Maelstrom Dagannoth, or something else in that category. Yeah, Chernobog, that's the guy. So hello, Minigown. Welcome, welcome. So hello, Jamie, for dinner. Say hello earlier. Welcome, welcome. But it's definitely a fun team. So one of the things I like about Guild War 2 is there's so many interesting things you can kind of do with Guild War that you normally can't do in other places in the game. And I'm really, really, really glad Astral Spire does not work in Guild War. Because that means everything that you can do that's fun in Guild War won't get completely, it won't be completely negated by your Spire being too strong. Which I like a lot. Because that's one of the only few locations your Spire will not work in is Guild War. And I'm really glad they chose to make it not work there. Because it doesn't really ruin Guild War integrity then. There are still some things that ruin Guild War integrity, like the fact you can spend $5 for what is sometimes an absurdly good legend. This time around was not the case, obviously. But sometimes you can, and that's kind of hurts the integrity a little bit. Because depending on the restrictions, sometimes the legend that you can get shiny is like the best thing you can use in the whole event. This time around, it was like one of the worst you could use. Oh, look at that. Lucky 7777. That's after all the battles, right? What a perfect number to go end on. But now we got to go do an hour of not that. So let's go finish out Underspire and then I guess go do Guild War the rest of the time. But yeah, that's a perfect number. Second to last place. Perfect. So we'll guarantee get to move down to Ruby so we can win next week. And look at that. 7777. Even try for that. Perfect. Alright, now let's go do... well, first let me go claim this real quick. Let's go do Underspire, and then for the rest of the 1 hour timer, we'll go do Explore 12. And I think that is the game plan then. As Underspire, I believe, is the last weekly we have not completed. And then from there, we'll go do just Explore spamming until the hour's up. Which will last us, what, about... pretty much till about 10 o'clock then. So this is maybe about a 2-hour stream then. Though, we did already finish all the weeklies though, so I guess we'll just do it on Explore. As we have depleted all other content this week. Nice, some writs. Not that many. Okay, this is going to go to the path. So I think at this point, our best bet is to go back here and just do 6 battles over here. As that other path is going to go to primary path, and I don't think we're going to get enough battles to get it anywhere useful. So we're going to go over here because we know for sure this within 6 battles can reach somewhere useful. Whereas the other one over there, most guaranteed will not. So we'll go back to this earlier floor. Nice, a little bit of extra value there as well. That's also one less torch we have to spend. But yeah, this week we did get a Guardian troop. So these last 5 torches are our last chance to try to get a second Guardian troop this week. We're only missing 1 Guardian. That one Guardian being the yellow one. Yep, there it is. Okay, I don't think there's anything more we could do with 3 torches, unfortunately. I guess I could go to the deeper area and just see if we get lucky on something. But it's very unlikely it's going to connect into anything. Guardian troop. Oh, more torches. Well, maybe it will now. That makes it slightly more likely, I guess. Alright, let's go down this path. The only problem with this path is it's probably connecting to a primary path. We're going to see like a double path in a few rooms from here. The problem is both of them are primary, so it's not going to lead anywhere. I don't think we can get this path to a dead end, but we'll try. Because it's probably closer to a dead end than the other one is, so we'll give it a shot. But there's a good chance I can't get any value from this. Well, we'll try. Oh, here's the door, and here's primary path. I wish this way went down. Because if this went down, it would give us a good idea that we could actually go somewhere. But right now, I'm just going on primary path, so we're likely leading nowhere. See, I don't think these final torches are going to be able to do anything, unfortunately. Who knows, maybe we'll find a treasure room. Oh, there it is. Well, at least we got a treasure room out of it. But yeah, this is all primary path. Though it does look like I can go 2 rooms to the side, but the best I can have is like another treasure room or a trap room or something. Well, you never know. Treasure rooms do have some okay stuff in them. Oh, trap room. I guess we're going that way. And then we have one more battle. But if neither of these 2 rooms are anything of value, we're just not going to bother doing that battle. So yeah, we weren't able to get that much value from our final torches, but that's fine. We got a Guardian troop this week. We can't complain too much. Not just a Guardian, but a new Guardian. We're only missing 1 now. Hopefully it'll add them to Soul Forge at some point soon so we can actually go and get them. Because having to get it by normal means, it could take over a year to go get that final Guardian, if not longer. Depending on how unlucky we get. Or we could literally get it next week. Who knows? Oh, nice! Wow! We actually found the Cursed Mine room for 14 free curse runes. And it's a double dead end room? Wow, that is lucky. Oh, now I kind of want to go spend to go get the other room done then. Is that worth it? Unless this one gives me torches, which would be really funny. But, wouldn't that be funny if this is the Guardian troop we need? It's not impossible. If it was the Guardian troop or if it was the more torches would be the funniest 2 things this could be. With more torches being far more likely. Than the one and only Guardian we're missing. No. I don't think it's worth it just to do 1 dead end room. And it's obviously not worth wasting a lantern on that. But yeah, that's the faction for today then. Well, we got a new faction troop, or Guardian troop, whatever you want to call that. We got some decent value there at the end. Ah, there we go. Alright, we got 55 minutes to go spam explore, it looks like. Oh, we got that one task completed. I guess I'll grab the XP booster. Why not? I only have to do this soul battle like 3 times to go get it real quick. And I will go to Explore 12 for the rest of the time, I think. Just with like a quick kill Flower Dragon team or something. What team will I use for Explore 12? Probably just quick kill Flower. I normally use double cast instead of single cast version of it with Miss Mother that you can one-shot with. I just find the double cast to be a lot more convenient. Because there isn't as much variability to it, even though its quickest possible win is a little bit slower. But its average win is a lot more consistent. Alright, that should be an XP booster. And since we have to go and use a bunch anyways, let me go use all 3 we have. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go run some Explore. I guess I'll do it in... I don't know, where do I want to do it in? Prize Land seems fine. Alright, let's go do some Explore. I've been kind of neglecting it. Let's go get a couple of it. But the whole point of this team is just double cast Flower Dragon and you win. And ideally you would have that right here, but we did go a little bit short on mana. The other 2 strategies are do Miss Mother with Flower Dragon, so you could one-shot Explore 12. That does require pretty high stats, but you can one-shot it. And the other strategy is a bit slower, but it's Maelstrom Dagannoth. And you just kill them one at a time with Infinite Loop Maelstrom Dagannoth. And obviously there's a few other things you can do if you're earlier in the game, like, you know, double Tesla or stuff like that. But yeah, I'll run this for the rest of the stream then. They still haven't fixed this? I hope this is fixed in the next update. They still haven't fixed the text being missing from Angels and Merchant. I assume that's being fixed in 9.1, but yeah, it's been broken for like an update or 2 now. Hopefully they fix that soon. It's still showing the cost, but unless you click on it, it doesn't show you how much reward you're getting. There's normally like a tooltip text below it that tells you how much. But it's been missing for a patch or 2 now. Interesting, I've never bothered using Trog Goblin's weapon yet. I've used Ossifer weapons, but a lot of the other mortals I have not bothered using the weapon for. Because a lot of them, when I first initially look at them, don't seem nearly as good as the Ossifer one, but I haven't checked a couple of the newer ones. Mostly just like the really old ones. But let's see if we get at least like 1 good token this stream, and if nothing else, it'll be a bunch of upgrade material that we need for later. Still a lot of kingdom upgrades we need to go do. And we've been kind of neglecting the Explore 12 grind, so a good excuse to finally go do it since we have this booster rolling. Should also gain a pretty sizable amount of gold during it, since we're doubling it all for each battle. Not as much as like a gold farming team, but you know, still pretty solid. Problem with the most gold farming teams is they do win the battle a bit slower. Though maybe they'll make a comeback once we get all those new stats from Astral Spires and all those effects and everything. Because it might open up some builds that weren't necessarily as good before. Because you're going to get a lot of extra magic from that, particularly for things that use multiple colors. Anything that uses 3 or 6 colors that is a troop, not specifically weapon. But any troop that uses 3 or 6 colors gains a pretty big buff as the Astral Spire is coming out. Because they get to stack the effect of every single color troop. Which of course makes Flower Dragon even more broken though. Unfortunately, it won't be able to one-shot without Fairy Fire. That'd be funny if it got so buffed that it could. It's getting a sizable amount of damage, but not that much damage. Not enough to one-shot Explore 12 without Fairy Fire. So we are creeping closer to that point though. I think it's only going to be like 60 damage off or something after all the Astral Spire buffs. It'll be like 50 or 60 damage off of one-shotting without Fairy Fire. Who knows? Maybe the next set of Dragonite Dragons will do that. With all the Astral Spire buffs and whatever they do for the next set of Dragonite Dragons. Maybe they'll have enough damage where they have like no extra turn potential or very low. But they have even higher damage than Flower Dragon and they can actually one-shot Explore 12. With no Fairy Fire Assist. Oh, we got an Angel. And we got deed books. Don't even need to know the number on the other one. That number could be infinite and it would be not worth 2 deed books. Honestly. Maybe not literally infinite, but I could say like 10,000 Chaos Shards and 2 green deed books and I would still take 2 green deed books. I mean, not deed books, but deeds, I mean. But you can't even see the numbers for Angels, which is unfortunate. I assume that's being fixed in the upcoming update. It's been broken for a patch or 2 now. I'm pretty sure that was broken since like December. And it's going to be March by the time it gets fixed, assuming it even gets fixed next patch. I assume it would be though. Find out if we ever get the patch notes posted soon. Because they're probably posting the patch notes in the next few days. Even if we're not getting the update this week's Tuesday, which is very unlikely. We're probably getting the patch notes in the next few days. Definitely by next week's Monday. Maybe not by the next day or 2, but definitely by next week's Monday. But yeah, we've really been neglecting Explore 12. There were some weeks where we used to run like 10, 20, 30 hours of Explore 12. I'll be lucky if I run even an hour a week these days. But there's still a lot of good loot from it. You get Merchants and Angels, you get an okay amount of gold. You get, obviously, the Trait Stones. Or not the Trait Stones, but the, whatever you call them. The metals material. Which is one of the main reasons why you do this. Is all the metal material that you get. And we've definitely been slacking there when it comes to upgrading kingdoms. We're getting very close to the point where we're actually being bottlenecked by metals just because I've been farming so few. Which is like the only thing there that you can like infinitely farm. Like obviously you could technically infinite farm deed books, but the rate of it's really slow. But it's actually realistic to infinite farm metals. The rate that you get is perfectly fine. Was AW Orion at the end of our leaderboard, was he? I wasn't paying attention to the names when we were checking the PvP thingy. But it could be deliberately trying to go low, kind of like how we are. Where you just do bare minimum weeklies, and then the following week you go win Ruby rank. Because that's the most ideal, so you don't have to grind as much. Is alternating between doing really, really bad, so you go back down to Ruby, into doing really, really good, so you easily get a win in Ruby and get like 90 or 80 gold marks. And just keep alternating between the two. It requires far less time and still gives a decent amount of reward. As if you can do that consistently, it's like 40 gold marks a week. Given every other week is like 80-ish. Because it's generally really hard to get first place in Diamond. Like first place in Diamond is normally like 100,000 or something. Or, you know, like any place. Like even third place could be 100,000 some weeks. Like it's really high. Whereas doing the same in Ruby's like 20,000, 30,000, if even that some weeks. Sometimes you can even get away with 10,000. Getting like third place with 10,000. But you can never get away with that in Diamond. Yep, catch you later, Rich Chicago. Have a good week. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night as well for all the weekly stuff. And then as far as other streams next week that aren't the Brighter Shores thing, I do plan to do the launch of, what's it called? Slay the Spire 2. Apparently we won't end up getting it with Astral Spire update. But Slay the Spire 2 is releasing next Thursday, and I'm going to be playing that on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pretty much all day. My main goal is to try to win with every character, and with whatever our favorite character is, most likely the Silent. I plan to go and win on max difficulty. and ascend all the way to max difficulty, whatever the process is for that in the new game. Assuming that's even implemented at launch. I assume it is, but we'll find out when we get there. But we'll be messing with that for 4 days. On launch day throughout the entire weekend. But the only Gems of War stream next week will be on Monday, tomorrow. Though I will cover a video on Friday, obviously, for the new Mythic, though. And obviously the Monday video. What are you doing not being full mana? Getting a little unlucky there. Alright, so far we haven't seen an Anu or higher yet. Also, no Mimics yet. Though we're not at the drop rate for a Mimic yet. But still no Mimics. Doesn't matter if we're at the drop rate or not, still haven't seen one yet. Or only at like half the drop rate. Yeah, normally whenever I use this booster, we end up just doing it off stream, just spamming it down. It's actually been a while since we've done an on-stream 1 hour booster thingy. It is generally what I'm doing whenever I do end up doing it, though. It's one of the few times where it's actually like really viable to go to Explore. Especially if I don't need PvP rating on a given week. Which does remind me, I do need to go max out the PvP score before the end of the season. Maybe we'll go a little bit crazier with it next week so we can get first place. Because I'm still short. Oh, nice. Our first Anu this week. As well as the same new because we upgraded it recently. But now we just haven't gotten Anisha. But yeah, I might push PvP score a little bit more next week just because I still haven't gotten the 180,000 we need for the current season. It's pretty important because we did buy the season pass this time, so we actually have to complete it. Well, you don't have to, but you know, like, you would just be trolling if you didn't. It's so much free loot if you're already paying for it. Like, you definitely wouldn't want to, like, partially complete it. I forgot how much short we are. Should we go check right now? I think it's still going for, like, 4 more weeks, so we still have plenty of time. But I think we only have, like, half the score, but it's pretty easy to get, like, you know, 100,000 in a single week if we really needed it. We got 40 minutes left on the booster. What I want to go check, though, is... how do you check the thingy? Oh, are we only at 78,000? Oh, wow. Yeah, there's only 4 weeks left, and I'm not even halfway done. So we're going to need to start pushing that points up at some point. Of course, we do have some bypass, though. I do have the little metal thingies. We currently have about 10,000. But still, even with that, we're only halfway there. Because we need 180,000, and we're at 88,000 right now. Oh, while I'm here, let me go get the deep books. See if we get anything here. Blue, we're looking for red. Green, we're looking for red. Green again, that is not red. We'll open them more later. Hopefully we win Guild Wars today so we can get the rest of the deep books so we can open 3 tomorrow. Because if I'm not mistaken, we're actually winning this Guild War. The other 3 we lost, but this one we're actually on track to win. I know we're still down, but once we get the rest of our score, and we should end up hopefully winning there. Find out tomorrow. Anyways, let's go back to Explore. We're going to gain a level 2. I feel like we've gained so few levels since I got level 2,000, just because I haven't really been trying to push levels. But we got level 2,000 back in, like, what, November? It's been, like, 4 months, and I've gained 8 levels. That's how much I've been deprioritizing gaining levels. I'm gaining like 2 levels a month since we've reached level 2000. Just because it's been such low priority to try to grind levels in any way. I haven't been trying to get the XP boosters or anything like that. It's just not worth it. Is the next level benefit that we get any benefit at all for hero is level 3000. Which there's a chance we never even bother reaching 3000. Even if I try to get there. As 3000 from where we're currently at is upwards of like, what, 3,000 to 5,000 hours away. Forget how much you can do when you're actually trying to farm XP, but obviously most of the time we're not like actively trying to farm XP. But we're at like about like 3,000 to 5,000 hours of just normally playing the game away from getting level 3000. Which is a very, very, very long time to say the least. Which is why we're not bothering. And what we would get for that, like 1 armor or something. Though the Astral Spires are kind of interesting because even though the hero buffs are the absolute worst category, they are quite a few stats for hero. But they are probably the least relevant category to go for. Just because it doesn't stack, only your hero ends up gaining the benefit. Hero's somewhat getting nerfed as of the Astral Spire update, oddly enough. The benefits that apply only to the hero compared to the benefits that apply to every other troop. The benefits you get on hero are way, 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 way worse. So there's going to be a lot more no hero teams going after Astral Spire. As it is finally returning to hero being kind of useless again. Not that hero is useless, it's still going to be ridiculously broken. But all the benefits that Astral Spires are given, almost none of it's being applied to hero. Any of the ones that apply to a color do not apply to hero. So using Wand of Stars does not get a benefit from any of the 6 colors. It only gets a benefit from the hero bonus. Which makes the hero bonus really, really, really weak. As you're almost just better off just dropping hero and just running non-hero on your team then. Be interesting to see how that affects the meta. Because they're finally bringing it to the point where you don't have to run hero on every team. Once again. Game's been at that point quite a few times in the past, but ever since they added 10 traits on hero, it's basically been plop hero in every battle ever. But now they're kind of doing it again where you kind of don't need hero for a lot of times. There will still be instances where you bring it out because elementals and a few other things are just so strong. As well as Wand of Stars still being broken beyond belief. That doesn't change. But most of the benefits that Astral Spires are bringing in do not affect hero. And the things that do affect hero from it are really weak and worth skipping. Because the only thing it gets is a little bit more stats and the ability to counter enemy heroes. But if the enemy doesn't even have a hero, then you don't need to bother with that if the meta's shifting to not even needing heroes. So it's by far the weakest category and probably like the last thing you would ever upgrade. I think you would upgrade literally every other thing Astral Spire gets before you even put it into bronze for the hero benefits. It is that weak compared to any other category. Oh no, we'll see what the balance is once it comes out. Now, based on the balance that we've seen before it comes out, hero seems like the worst category out of all of them by a mile. Oh, nice, another Rainia and a Anu. So I haven't seen a Nisha tonight. That's the only token we haven't seen. Everything else we've seen multiple times, but of course the other one is the highest rarity one, so I'm not going to see it too often, but hopefully we can get at least one tonight. I think we got about half an hour left, it looks like. Hopefully we can get at least one Mimic in that time. If we don't, we definitely want overdrop rate. Who knows, maybe we can finally get our third 5 times Mimic. That one Mega Mimic. We are so dry on that, by the way. If I was on rate for that thing, I think I should have like 5 or 6 by now. We only have 2. Luckily, anything beyond 1 doesn't really matter. But we are so dry on our third. It might actually be one of the driest things we actually have ever been on in the game. Even more so than Gem Dragons, even more so than the recent Evil Dragons. I think our driest thing that has been completely RNG based so far has been finding our third Horde Mimic. Which is luckily a very irrelevant thing to go dry on, so it's not that big a deal. But I don't think I've gotten unluckier on any grind in the entire game than the third Horde Mimic. We got one the first month it came out, one like a few months after. And within about like enough to get 6 of them, we've gotten 0 since. But of course, you only need the one. Everything after one's kind of irrelevant unless you want to troll with like a team of 4 Horde Mimic. Which is one of the few flex teams you can kind of do. It's one of the few hardest teams to ever compose, as you would of course need 4 copies of them. Which requires quite a lot of Explore 12. And Explore 12 isn't really as meta to do these days compared to in the past. Like, it's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. Who knows, maybe able to extend Explorers to, like, Explore level 15 or something eventually. To modernize it a little bit, both in rewards and in difficulty. Because Explorer's been reworked a couple times. And this is the most recent iteration. But this iteration was done back in 2019. It's been a very long time since they've reworked it since then. Because I believe it's undergone no changes since 2019. With the only difference being, I think the Kingdom upgrades added 10% extra shards afterwards. But aside from that, it has gotten no extra benefit other than the 10% extra shards that you can unlock for each Kingdom at level 16. But beyond that, Explorer's never been changed since 2019. Which is quite a while ago at this point, of course. We're talking like 7 years. So hopefully they'll modernize it a little bit more in somewhat the near future in the next year or two. Both in difficulty and in, you know, reward. Because difficulty's kind of fallen off. Explore 12 difficulty compared to Explore 12 difficulty 9 years ago is very different. Not that Explore 12 was hard back then, but it was definitely harder than it is now. Like, there were instances where you could actually consider losing. Whereas now, you consider, do you want to run a one-shot team, a multi-one-shot team, or a two-shot team? Or your choices now. Like, what instant win team do you wish to use? Whereas back then, you could actually, like, legitimately lose Explore 12. Yep, we got a merchant. What do we have? Ooh, the 250 Imperial? Give me that. That's the cheapest Imperial you can ever get. In case I ever run out of Imperials, I do want to get that every time we see it. 250 gems for an Imperial is definitely worth. 500 for one is sketchy if it's worth it or not. I would say normally no. That's the ones you could find off your dailies. But for 250, it is definitely worth every time you see it, at least this late in the game. Earlier on in the game, not as much. But this late in the game, I will take infinite Imperials for 250. Imperials you only really need to start doing when you start using a lot of deep books. The main instance where they're really relevant is if you buy a lot of PvP passes, oddly enough. The more PvP passes you buy, the more Imperials you'd need. As PvP basically gives you only deep books, but no Imperials. So you need to offset that by getting Imperials through other means. Explore being one of them. Good night, Mulu! Have a good week. Catch you later. We've still got about another 30 minutes, it looks like. And of course, tomorrow night we'll go over all the weekly stuff, mess with the world event. Actually, is it a world event? I forgot what event it was. Whatever the event is. Oh, no, actually, I think it's, wait, is it Ward or Journey? Yeah, it's Ward event, because we just had Journey. So next week's Ward event, then. Okay, that means we need to make less team for the weekly video, then. Because the World event team and the Underspire team should be the exact same next week. I don't think there's going to be any difference. So that's 2 less teams we need to make for the weekly video. Hey, our first Mimic of the grind. Because the teams are exactly the same. Because the restriction is exactly the same. The only main difference is you get a lot of extra magic amplification. Which sometimes changes the World event team, but normally it's the, you know, the same thing. There's some gimmicks you can sometimes run with the higher damage. Oh, we got the Balrania. Could have been worse. That wasn't too bad for a 2x chess. Slightly above average. Let's see if we can find another Mimic. But yeah, they definitely got to update Explore 12 a bit. Power creep is kind of invalidated this game mode from a difficulty perspective. Because obviously we're at no threat of even close to dying on any of these battles. Not sure what they would need to do to make a proper like Explore 15 or however they would revamp it. But they definitely got to try something at some point. 7 years later, this is like so free. I kind of keep forgetting how free Explore 12 is these days. Because there's one point where Explore 12 was the hardest thing in the game. And now it's just the grind that you 1-2 shot with whatever team you're running. And it's only going to become even worse with Astral Spires that make it even easier. Which is something that they might need to start considering for multiple different game modes with Astral Spires. Because in the future, they're now going to need to start balancing around Astral Spires. Which are very broken. Even just some of the low-level benefits you get from it for free to play if you don't buy anything money-wise. You still get such insane buffs pretty quickly. Particularly for 6 and 3 colored troops. Are like the biggest beneficiaries of Astral Spires. Because a lot of the earlier upgrades you get applied to them most heavily. Hey, level! Put that in the red to even it out. Haven't seen this screen too many times. 2009. Yeah, we're almost up to current year as well. We're getting close to 2026 as our level. Sometime this year we will hit the year as the level. Yeah, at some point this year we will reach level 2026 and 2026. We'll definitely need to take a screenshot of that and then the following one. Maybe every single one of them as well. Just so we have a cool screenshot of every year. So we can use it for a thumbnail around the New Year's time. Not because it's the level that we reached, but because it's the current year. Might go do that. I just need to remember to do that when we get around to that. But 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, you know, so on and so forth. I need to take a screenshot of all of them. And put them in a file of, like, the new years. And we could use that as a thumbnail once per year around New Year's for some video. Either the weekly video or something else. So hello, Ron. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we just finished up Guild Wars and all the weeklies. We're just finishing out the 1 hour booster on Explorer. As a good excuse to go run some Explorer. And we got about, like, 20 minutes left on it? About 20 minutes left. Found 1 Mimic so far. I had average loot. Nothing too crazy so far as drops. Biggest crazy drop this week was getting a Guardian troop from just doing the free battles for Underspire this week. Because we got green Guardian, so now we're only missing 1. That's by far the best drop we got all week from anything. That is something I wish the game had a little bit more of in endgame these days, though. A lot of the newer grinds they've been putting are just resource-based. You don't really have to, like, try infinitely grinding towards something rare anymore. Like what the Horde Mimic was and, like, stuff like that. They haven't had a grind like that in a very, very long time. Where you can infinitely grind with no limits towards a random drop. Because even something like Underspire is not that. Because you have a limited number of battles you can do per week, even if you max spend on it. Even if max spending, you're capped out at a certain point. But yeah, honestly, the Horde Mimic might be the most recent thing back in 2019 that they've ever added like that. We've gone such a while without a grind like that. Something that can be infinitely grinded, that is completely luck-based, that is like an actual good thing that you would want. Like, imagine if there was a mythic added to a game mode that you had to grind for like 100 hours or so on average. Or something like that. Like something around like Flower Dragon level, maybe a little weaker. but like different overall as far as what it does. But you had to grind something out over and over until you got the drop. Because we haven't had infinite grinds like that in a very long time. Most grinds are limited by some kind of currency or by time or by something else. Like the Astral Spires are limited by time unless you want to spend money. There's nothing you can do to grind it. At least not at launch anyways. Like you can do the dailies to go get your shards, but you know, you can't like do much beyond that. Other than like the few minute daily. Take like 1 minute or 2 minutes. There's nothing you can do or grind for to even get more. So you want to spend money. I'm pretty sure there'll be ways to get it with money. The patch notes thing didn't mention any, or not the patch notes, but the little preview thing didn't mention it. But you know they're going to monetize it somehow. We like a shop menu where you could buy it for some per day as well as like a big lump sum or something. Unless they do let you convert some gems into it every single week. I highly doubt they'll let you though. But if they had like a weekly offer where you can convert like X number of gems into those things, it would be really worth it. Kind of like how dungeons work, where you can convert gems into Dragonite and into, you know, everything else that's in there. I'm curious to see if they end up doing something like that with the Astral Spire stuff. I assume the answer is no, but you never know. I highly doubt it though. As Ron mentioned, definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot. It's greatly appreciated. We'll have to wait and see. From what it seems like, it's 2 Tuesdays from now should be the patch. Unfortunately, not this week's Tuesday, but next week's Tuesday is the most likely time for the day for the update. Though there is a non-zero chance it is this Tuesday, but the wording makes it seem like it's not. It definitely seems like it's a following week Tuesday situation. Yeah, I'm hoping we get at least like one more good drop here. We also still haven't seen Anisha tonight, or 5 times Mimic. The 2 rare things we could find here. We have gotten Anu twice though. Let's see, which one do we get first? The 3rd Anu or something else? That's that rare. It's a race between 3rd Anu, 5 times Mimic, and Anisha. If I had to guess, a 3rd Anu is probably the most likely. Even though we already rolled 2. And from there, Anisha would be the 2nd most likely. And the least likely is a 5 times Mimic of those 3. Though we could find another 2 times Mimic. Yeah, that's more likely than any of those other 3. Come on. No. No, boo. We got a Arania, though. Alright, we got about 15 minutes on the timer. Which means our XP bonuses are probably been used up by now. We're pretty close to it. Actually, let me go check after this battle. I want to see where we're at right now. Alright, where are we at? Boom, boom, boom. 20 minutes left. Alright, let's keep going. What time does that bring us to my time? Okay, it's pretty much all the way to the end of the hour. Let's go do it. And now we'll have a nice little token stash to build into the pile. Because right now I'm like barely at double digit on all of them. Like I don't mean like double digit like 50 or 60, I mean like 10 or 20. We're like at the scraping by end of double digit when it comes to all the tokens. Like the really low end of double digit on all of them. Which is crazy because we used to almost have up to like 1,000 of some of them. We've used that many in the past, upgrading everything in the game. Because there was a point, every single one of them, including I think probably even Nisha, was like in the hundreds. Some of those lower ones were even like getting close to 1,000-ish. And as we started like mass spending them when they added like the gold elite levels and everything. Or you know, when they added the need to upgrade them for kingdoms. Because there was a point where you could do it, but they weren't needed for kingdom upgrades. And eventually you needed like 20 of them for gold kingdom upgrades. And that's when our stacks really started going down. Oh, we did get it! Okay, interesting. Nisha won. We have gotten every token type tonight. We have officially gotten the one Nisha. Nice. Now, the only really big loot we haven't seen is the 5x Mimic tonight. I highly doubt we're going to roll one, though. It's about a 1 in 10 every time we even see a Mimic. And we've seen one Mimic so far tonight. So even if we find another Mimic, it's like about a 1 in 10 that even that thing has it in it. We should likely find one more Mimic, but it's only about a 1 in 10 that mimics the 5x Mimic. But otherwise, we would have seen every unique loot. Though I guess technically we haven't seen some stuff from Merchant or Angel yet tonight. That doesn't quite count though, that's like a different thing. I guess technically a part of Explorer, but you know, it's also in a couple other areas in the game. I generally don't do. You can actually get them off of daily dungeons if I'm not mistaken. And not dungeons, whatever you call it. Underworld. I just don't do daily Underworld. There just isn't really a need to get those shards and everything once you max out everything. You have to go down to Ruby from Diamond to achieve good rewards. Yeah, generally that's the way to go. You just keep hopping back from Ruby and Diamond. So you can win in Ruby, but then downgrade in Diamond. We're doing that this week. We made second to last in Diamond this week, so we can go make like first or second in Ruby next week. And you just keep alternating back and forth. And the main reason I couldn't get bottom row last time is, for whatever reason, my Diamond rank last time, every single person in the lower rank, I don't think I ever showed it on stream. Because, didn't we only do like one stream that week, I think? But by the end of the week, the scores for my Diamond rank, the other week, not this week, but last week, was like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Someone who did like 1,000 something. Like, every single person was pretty much at 0. I'm not sure why. Like, even though we did bare minimum scoring, everyone did so little, and most of them did 0, that, yeah, we weren't able to lose. Because obviously we did more than 0. Because we did bare minimum dailies. But then this week we make second to last, doing the exact same amount of points as last week. Crazy how that works. But last week I made almost 20th, because everyone was just doing 0 or something like absurdly low. But this time we made 29th, which is low enough. Because luckily everyone did slightly more than bare minimum, except for one person who did below bare minimum. Alright, what do we have here? Merchants into... oh, red deep books. That's the one I need. I still don't react to that properly because I don't really see them as purple deep books. How strong those were. But red deep book is technically the only deep book I need at the moment. Technically we need all of them, but red is by far the most beneficial benefit. Yeah, the way that the matchmaking in like what bracket you get put into for PvP is a little weird. Because the variability on it is super high. Especially in Diamond rank. Like, sometimes in Diamond rank, you'll have literally the person who gets first place in overall in the entire game for PvP. And in other weeks, you'll have, like, 10 zeros. It's really weird. Like, the amount of variance on it is so high. Or you'll get everything from doing nothing to a wall of nothing that doesn't even make it so you can lose. To people so high that they're literally, like, the top 3 in the whole game for the week. There's luckily that happens a lot less in Diamond. I mean, in Ruby. Also, one nice thing about this, since we are under gold boost, we're almost back up to 10 million gold. I keep dipping under. Worst comes to worst, if we ever need a restock, we just gotta wait for a week where it's a 300 glory troop and just dump a bunch of glory onto gold. And just convert all of our glory into gold. Alright, 15 minutes of booster to go. Also, my XP booster should definitely have expired by now. Because we only used 45 minutes of it, so it should be at 0. Oh no, we're still getting 220. Yeah, maybe we'll expire any second now then. Wait, is my default? No, I'm pretty sure it's 110. I guess it'll be very easy to tell when we have 15 minutes left. Because my XP drop should be 110 rather than 220. Oh, those are horrible. Unless they're going to give me 100 of both for that price. I'm pretty sure it's only one. I'm not sure why they value treasure so high. There's a certain point where they become completely useless. I guess a lot of things are like that. Probably most notably trait stones and ingots and stuff like that. But even some things that are actually valuable can reach that point. Like orbs of ascension are basically useless to us, which is kind of crazy. It's because you reach a point where you have everything ascended. Like obviously that takes a while, but you do eventually reach a point where ascension orbs are nothing. Especially since a lot of newer troops that come out tend to be higher rarity, which require less ascension to get to where they need to be. In the case of mythics, they're already fully ascended, so you don't even need blue orbs on them. And immortals are similar like that, since they use a different material to be upgraded. This horn one feels like it always is popping up there. I'm not sure why. There's so many other ones that can be there. I feel like every time I look there, it's like, oh, it's a little horn line guy. Mana? I know you're in there. Alright, another Arania. Nice, nice. The only drop we haven't seen is the 5x Mimic. Every other primary drop from Explore specifically we've seen now tonight. Every time. I feel like every other time I look here, it's the Lion. There's other troops in this kingdom, you know. There's a really big bias to this Lion this week, for some reason. Oh, Angel, come on, something good. Ooh, diamonds? I don't really need diamonds, but I'll take 5 diamonds over nothing. 5 diamonds is way better than nothing. It's not that good, but it's better than nothing. The other one was just a coin sack, which is very useless. Not like actual coins, but you know, the coin sack they use for upgrading in Underworld. But it's crazy to think with how strong teams already are, how much stronger Astral Spires are going to make everything. Be interesting to see how the meta shifts over the next year as Astral Spires start getting higher and higher. Because it makes everything that's already strong even stronger. But it starts opening up some things that weren't actually that strong before. Most notably, one of the biggest things that's going to come back is gem spamming. The extra little bit that you get from gem spam might actually be enough to bring them back. It's just in scenarios like this, it just doesn't compare to Flower Dragon damage, though, is the problem. It's the issue quite a few things have. And compared to, like, Maelstrom Dagannoth instantly insta-killing everything, or Flower Dragon 1 or 2-shotting a team, it's hard to compete with that with, like, any mechanic in the game. When the higher end is just this strong, and getting buffed with Astral Spires. Oddly enough, though, between Flower Dragon and Stellaryx, Stellaryx actually gets more of a buff from Astral Spires. He uses the extra stats better because he has better durability. This might gain like a few extra damage over it, but I do feel like overall Stellaryx uses the extra stats better. But most notably, it uses the extra gem spam better. I don't believe that mechanic gives it more explode at all in any way to Flower Dragon, but it should give 2 extra gem spam to Stellaryx. Or to create 1 more Astral Star and 1 more Umbral Star, whatever the other thing was called. The 2 stars. Or create 2 more of each of the stars. Or 1 more of each of the 2 stars. On top of, you know, all the other benefits that it gets. But oddly enough, Stellaryx gets more of a benefit from Astral Spire than Flower Dragon, though Flower Dragon still gets buffed. Just ever so slightly less. Just because its mana accumulation stays the same. But Stellaryx's goes up. But they're all still gaining the benefits from the extra magic and stats and everything else. But yeah, Astral Spires, when it comes to like normal troops, the biggest beneficiary are things that are brown that create multiple gems. Like anything that's like a gem spammer. Any of them that are like at that really high end already, like 12 or more per cast, they gain quite a bit of a benefit from having +1. Because the difference between 12 or 13 or 13 to 14 or similar numbers, it's actually a pretty substantial increase in extra turn rate. Like we're talking like probably several % extra turn rate. Where at a certain point you pretty much reach like almost 100%. Like creating 20 gems is not 100%, but you know, it's pretty close to 100% chance that you would extra turn on most board states if you were creating like 20 gems every single turn. And the closer that you can get to that number, the better. So any of the 12s that go to 13, 13 to 14, 14 to 15, so forth. Like Elamar Grim gains quite a bit of benefit from it. I believe its top end is... What did they buff it to lately? It's like 12 or 13, so it's moving to 13 or 14 from it. Which makes him a lot more consistent to actually use as a viable troop. Also gives him more chance of actually reaching back to full mana. Because one of his issues he doesn't already get back to full mana because he has such a high, like, 25 mana cost or whatever it is. That makes it a bit more consistent that he can with the extra gem. But stuff like that ends up gaining quite a bit of a benefit. But the problem is the already strong Struff just gets even stronger. Like, Flower Dragon's max hit goes up by, like, 20-ish or something. Stellaryx does 2 and gets 2 more gem spam. 1 for each star. Stuff like that. And I don't think any of the other troops that are getting benefits are going to bypass the ones that are getting, like, all the benefits, like the 6-color troops. Because on top of that, it's also getting the cleansing, you know, the extra turn skull thing, you know, everything. Or the extra turn red, whatever it was. I think it was extra turn skull. Whenever you take a skull, you have, like, a 15% chance to extra turn. And I think it's per red troop on your team. So technically you would have either 4 15% chances or 1 60% chance if you had 4 reds on your team. Whenever anything on your team takes a skull. Even if it's only a 3, you would have a 60% chance or 4 15% chances, however they're going to roll it, to be able to go get an extra turn per skull you take, even if it's only a 3. Which means if it does stack additively, or, you know, if you get to keep all the benefit from it, that would be over a 50% chance per skull you take that you would get an extra turn, even if it's only a 3, if your team was 4 reds. I believe that's how it works. Some of them, how they stack is a little bit confusing if it's talking about, like, each troop or per each. That's the main thing I'm kind of confused by with Astral Spires. Because I'm slightly confused how a couple of them stack. The main thing to note, though, is all the extra stats that you get per color troop only apply to troops. It's one of the reasons why Hero is so bad. Hero is gaining almost no benefit from Astral Spires, as there's 6 color categories and 1 hero category. But the 6 color categories do not affect Hero. And obviously the hero category doesn't affect anything else. So the hero category is really bad, as well as Hero in general. As almost all the benefits are going to troops, particularly 3 and 6 color troops. Which, of course, are mythics. So I could just say all mythics. But all mythics are by far the biggest beneficiaries of the update. Probably by design, because obviously it's harder to get every mythic in the game. But mythics are by far the biggest beneficiary, all categories. Normal mythics, immortal mythics, boss mythics, everything mythic. As they have the most colors to benefit from the Astral Spire system. And on top of that, some of the ones that they mentioned they'll be adding in the future are kingdom ones. And unless they count the hero class as a specific kingdom, the kingdom ones might not even apply to hero. Unless it also applies to the hero class if it happens to be the hero class from the kingdom. Which I sure hope so. Because hero is really getting left in the dust if not. I believe they also mentioned troop type potentially, which also, of course, I guess technically could apply to hero. Assuming you're the same troop type. But that would be pretty limiting since you would only gain 1 extra troop type benefit. Whereas a lot of other troops use 2 types like Elemental Dragon or Dragon Mystic. Because Hero is only 1 typing. It's whatever its typing is plus Hero. But it can never have a second typing because the second typing is Hero. So even at that, in that regard, if they do it based on typing, Hero's at disadvantage. As it can only ever have 1 typing, whereas many troops have 2 typings. But it's a bad example, this one's only 1. But you know, most other troops have 2 typings. So they can utilize from 2 different benefit pools. Whereas Hero could only ever get 1. Since it already has a hero tree thingy that's doing that. Or, you know, the hero spire. Because that's technically a troop typing one that they're adding initially. Hero is technically a troop typing. It only applies to hero, though. There's only 1 hero. I'm curious to see what kind of abilities they would do for some of those, though. Like what the dragon category would be, elemental, goblin. Oh gosh, could you imagine a goblin spire? Is it going to give you 2 extra turns for every extra turn you do? Like you used to be able to stack back in the day? That'd be really funny if they brought back that bug as a feature. Where you could like stack extra turns. Where if you took an extra turn at the same time you would take an extra turn, you would stack multiple extra turns that would keep going higher and higher. And so you could just take 3 peers and still get extra turn because you stack so many extra turns in a row. They fixed all glitches related to that a long while ago. Like several years. It'd be funny if they brought that back as the official mechanic. Though for obvious reasons that'd be very broken though. Alright, I think this is the last set. I think we've used up all of our boosters. Anyone have any other questions? Any other anythings? Otherwise, we will be back tomorrow night. Same time as always, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll also be, of course, covering the Monday video, probably by about noon or so. Going over all the weekly stuff and all the teams and everything. Seems like we're probably not getting the update this week, unfortunately. However, it's almost guaranteed next week's Tuesday. But there is a non-zero chances this week's Tuesday, but it does seem like it's getting pushed back to next week's Tuesday. But who knows, maybe we'll get the patch notes on Monday or something that we can go over tomorrow night. Otherwise, we'll go over them the following Monday when it's available. And of course, during the video, we'll kind of go over the calendar thingy too again. But yeah, next week should be a pretty tame week, assuming we don't get patch on Tuesday then. Because there's pretty much nothing happening next week, assuming we don't get the update. It's a very, very just nothing week. But that following week will be one of the biggest updates of the year, if not the entire biggest update of the year, when Astral Spires come in. As it's pretty much the most meta-shifting thing we've ever gotten since 2019 when Metals came out. So very, very big change. Unfortunately, most of those benefits you don't get to use immediately. Because it's one of those slow trickle kind of mechanics. Unlike Metals that you could just infinitely farm the second they came out. You could have literally had 3 initials on day 1 if you grinded hard enough. You're not going to be able to do that with Astral Spires, unfortunately. It's a very slow trickle kind of system. Oh yeah, I forgot. We still get the level up bonus. Whenever you get a level beyond 1,000. You still get the 100 glory and the event key. Oh, I forgot that's even a thing. It's been so long. Hey, we almost hit over 10 million gold, too. I just want to go open gold keys until we get over. But anyways, guys, hope you all have a wonderful week. We will be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have the Monday video going up at some point, going over all the weekly teams. And we shall go from there. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.